Styles, I can't help you if you're in here.
And I can't hurt you.
You know, if all of this is true, people are dead because of Styles.
But is it really Styles?
Hey, Styles. Do you remember me? I'm friends with Scott. This is a really bad plan.
We can do this. We're losing Styles. My dad is in jail for murder. We need to do this.
Make sure I never get out.
Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me in.
Teen Wolf, Monday at 10.
You want to save Styles? Kill him. That's the only way.
There's a way to save him. There has to be.
Sometimes history does repeat itself, Scott.
You okay?
I don't know if Isaac is dying right now. I don't know if I made a mistake with Scott. I don't know what my dad is thinking. I don't know if we should trust Eric. I don't know.
You want to save Styles? Kill him.
Teen Wolf, Monday at 10.
What have you done?
Chaos is coming again.
You burn my family, I burn yours.
You're not gonna shoot my son. Pull the trigger. Come on.
Listen to me! You put the gun down now! Put the gun
Dad.
down! Shoot me! Gun down! Shoot me! Why didn't you put it down?
This is a trick.
This isn't you, Styles.
It is now.
Teen Wolf, Monday at 10.
What are the voices telling you? Are they saying that Styles is dying? He is, you know. He's dying.
We should be out there looking for him right now.
Because if he can do something like this,
He's stronger than ever.
which means he'll be coming for us.
Did you hear that? Sounds like a round being chambered.
Is it over?
Not yet.
Teen Wolf, Monday at 10.
I'm just gonna start talking about the TW, because this is some bullshit. Okay. Episode 20, Echo House. Epic episode, okay? I loved it. I really enjoy Malia. I think Malia is going to be a really cool new addition to the show. I'm interested in Malia. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Malia and Peter. I want to see what they're going to do with Styles and Malia if that gets continued. As far as I'm concerned, Styles and Malia had sex. Seriously, because that was ridiculous, how it was like a heavy makeout session, and like she takes her shirt off and all that, and then it cuts away, it cuts back, and it's like they're jumping through so many hoops to make Dylan the only person who hasn't taken his shirt off on this show, and that's really upsetting me, okay? Like, seriously, like, I know Dylan's not buff as hell, I know he's probably just, like, you know, scrawny and everything, but, like, who gives a crap? Just show him with his shirt off at least once, that way there'd be some kind of equilibrium balance. I mean, like, it's so weird, him being the only person on the show that you never see. Like, it just reminds me of, like, you know, what season was that? When, like, he's taking off his shirt and Scott opens his locker and blocks him, and then he shuts the locker and he's just putting his shirt on. I was like, you serious? Like, this, no, like, why? Like, I don't understand it. It's not that I'm, like, dying to see Dylan with his shirt off. I just feel like it's kind of weird how he's the only one who has, like, hey, I don't know. It kind of feels like they're kind of discriminating against him a little bit, I guess, whatever. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, they hooked up, because that's ridiculous. How they were, like, rolling around on the couch, and then it cuts away, and it cuts back, and they're just all snuggled. I hate the idea of them, like, heavily making out, and then, like, she puts her clothes back on, and then they just lay there. They had sex, okay? Styles lost his V card, thank God, and, you know, if something horrible does happen to him in the final episode, you know, at least I know he's not a virgin anymore. Alright. So, what else happened? Oh, yeah, Echo House. Oliver, how he was being controlled by the Nogitsune and everything with the flies. Okay, what the fuck is up with those flies? This show needs to start explaining stuff. I'm just gonna say this. The pacing of this season, of 3B, is really reminding me of Season 2. How it's like, it was all questions, and in the finale episode, it was like an explosion of answers. So much so that it felt like it was jarring a little bit. And I feel like, I don't know why they're doing that. Why is the Nogitsune controlling people with flies, if it's like a cuss? What was up with them looking up flies in the bestiary, and they came across, like, Lord of the Flies, or Beelzebub, or whatever the hell they came up with in the book? You know, like, is that what a Nogitsune is? How is he controlling flies? If he's a dark fox spirit, why is he controlling flies? Why is he manifesting as a fly? That's weird. I don't know. They're not answering that question. And I still haven't answered the question as to why it chose Styles out of everyone else. I mean, seriously, Styles, not to be a dick or anything, but, like, Styles is the weakest link of the entire pack. I mean, he is the only completely 100% human character in this, you know, Teen Wolf pack. He is the only one. Even Allison would have been a better choice for possession because she's a trained kick-ass hunter and she has all these weapons. Scott is the ultimate choice to pick because he's a true alpha, for God's sakes. Why would you go for the only completely normal human? They still haven't explained why. I was expecting it to be something like he was related to the guy that was originally possessed by the Nogitsune, and the Nogitsune can only jump through family or something like that, because that would make sense, and that would be kind of like a weird little rule, that a Nogitsune can only pop up in the family members of people that it's already possessed, but they haven't answered that at all, and he's not related as far as we know. So Echo House was an awesome episode. I could watch a whole series of just Dylan in an insane asylum, like American Horror Story Asylum, that, as a show, with Dylan as the main character. Like, just in the nuthatch. Like Orange is the New Black, Dylan is the new Crazy, or something. You know, like, I could watch a show. I could totally watch that. Just Dylan in an insane asylum, just making life work, doing his time until the day that he overcomes his insane issues and just gets out of there. And along the way, we meet funny, quirky characters like Malia and Oliver and this quirky new Banshee girl. And I'm just gonna say this, not to sound offensive, is this new Banshee edition of the show, is she white or black? I'm sorry, not to sound offensive or anything, I feel kind of bad laughing, but I just don't know what ethnicity she is. Can anyone clarify that for me? Is she white or black? I don't know, I can't clarify, I can't tell what she is. In terms of, like, her background, I really can't tell what she is. Okay, so now let's talk about the fox and the wolf. I did not like this episode that much because it was incredibly boring. Not only was it incredibly boring, but the entire backstory involving the Nogitsune and Kira's mom is ridiculous, in my opinion. I don't understand why they chose to make her a 900-year-old kitsune. There are so many things that don't work with her being that old, and there are so many things that just come ridiculous. Like the latest episode, you know, Insatiable, when, you know, they're in the big fight scene, and she's shocked that the Nogitsune was able to take away the Oni from her. And it's like, really, after 900 years of walking this earth, being a kitsune, you'd think she'd know that he could do something like that, or at least think that he could do something. I mean, he was in possession of her tail, for God's sakes. I mean, like, if all it takes for him to jack the Oni is to break it in front of them, she should have known something was up. And, like, you know, when the whole fight is going down, she doesn't fight or do anything. She just stands in the corner freaked out. Really? You're 900 years old. You don't know how to fight? It's completely idiotic. And then, you know, she's a 900-year-old kitsune with superpowers, and she's just allowing herself and all those other Japanese Americans to be locked up in that internment camp when she has a sword hidden under her bed. Break out! Break them all out! You have all these superpowers. You're a 900-year-old Nogitsune. You're a 900-year-old kitsune. Just break out of that internment camp. It just didn't make any sense. Like, why was she allowing herself to be, or herself and all those people to be locked up when she has the power to break them out? And she has she has like 900 years of experience. I mean, like, and it's ridiculous. And also, her summoning the Nogitsune, like, seriously, they dressed it up so much, but it's literally, she was in so much pain that she wished for the Nogitsune, and it appeared before her. Really? So in 900 years of life, before that, prior to her whole internment camp ordeal, she never felt such pain, such loss, and such grief, where she had to summon a Nogitsune. She's never felt that before in at that point, it would have been like 800 years. 800 years of growing up in Japan and then subsequently America, and you've never felt the need, the pain, the anger, and the anguish enough to summon a Nogitsune. You're just feeling that now after 800 years of life. You see what I mean when I say that there's so many things that don't work with her being that old? I like the idea that Malia's like, oh my god, that would make you 90 years old if that's you in this picture. And she said, yes, I'm actually 90-something, maybe 100 years old. Kitsunes don't age like normal people. We age slightly. We age at half the rate of normal people. So, you know, I'm 100, but I look like I'm 40. That's it. And that would have been perfect. I'd have been like, oh, okay. But when she was like, try 900, I literally went, seriously? Like, why? And also, another thing that doesn't make sense, like, I know they're Mary suing Kira with her just developing all these kick-ass superhuman abilities, and I was giving it leeway because I'm like, whatever, you know, she's a Kitsune, I guess. But here's the thing. They've reiterated time and time again that Kitsunes are tricksters by nature. So why does she have superhuman fighting skills? Like, if anything, she should have, like, superhuman trickster skills or something. Like, she should have, like, a tricky, funny, you know, kind of, like, nature about her. Kind of like a lively, I trick people, I have fun, I play jokes, and I just, you know, I kind of cause havoc and stuff, but because in a fun, harmless way, because I'm a Kitsune, it's what I do. But instead, she's a warrior. Kitsunes are not warriors, they're tricksters. They've rehashed and reiterated that time and time again in this part of the season. So why does she have superhuman fighting skills? Is it because she's a Thunder Kitsune, and that specific kind of Kitsune is known for their fighting, or something like that? That would make sense, but they haven't explained that. So many things in this season are not being explained, and it really upsets me, because, like, again, I pride this show on its mythology and all of the really cool stuff they come up with, but when you do stuff like this and don't explain it, it kind of upsets me. I mean, like, even in Season 2, when Jackson became you know, the Kanema, they explained why, and they even explained why he was like a snake form or whatever. They explained all that, and it's just like, why aren't you explaining any of the Kitsune stuff? And I don't like the origins of the Nogitsune, because it doesn't even really, like, why is it appearing before Styles as the burned up guy that it took the body of back in, you know, the internment camp? Why isn't it appearing before Styles as a dark fox? I mean, that's just a body that it hijacked. That's not its true form. If that was its true form or something, I would understand. But it's not. It's an actual dark fox spirit. So why is it appearing before Styles as its latest meat suit? Why isn't it appearing before Styles as a dark fox? I don't get that. I mean, like, it would be cooler if, you know, if that happened, and then she went to the guy that she was with, and she tried to use some kind of special Kitsune power that she has to heal, and usually it works as long as the person is still alive and not that badly injured, but he was dead, but she didn't care because she still tried to use it on him to bring him back, and she ended up bringing back a Nogitsune, and that's how Nogitsunes are born. When a Kitsune tries to use their power to kind of, you know, bring someone back from the dead, or just, you know, tries to, like, use their power to do something dark. That would be cool. Like, if a Kitsune uses their power for something dark or unnatural, they can actually end up summoning a Nogitsune. That would be cool. But, I mean, like, her literally wishing for the Nogitsune and it just appearing before her, I didn't like that. Like, that would work if this was, like, an anime or a manga, but, like, not this. This is just weird. Like, this is not Inuyasha. This is not anything. This is not... No, I'm sorry, no. That's, you know... Seriously. I mean, Naraku's just rolling over in his fucking... I'm done. Okay, so... Yeah, Fox and the Wolf... And, you know, even the whole episode was nothing but expletive. Boring expletive. And it's like, it reminded me of the episode in 3A where Gerard and Peter talk about the past, but it was different because Gerard and Peter are two main villains of this show, and they're both epic characters. And those flashbacks were not useless because it was key in finding out, you know, why Deucalion is the way that he is, what happened, the origins of the All-Star Alpha Pack, and also we found out more about Derek and who Derek is and why Derek is the way that he is, and everyone loves Derek. I don't care about Kira's mother. I cared about finding out the origins of the Nogitsune, but the origin story we got was ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, like, it's just... It was not an interesting story. I mean, like, once we found out where the Kitsune... Like, and the whole time she was standing there telling that story, and she's like, oh, when I had a boyfriend when I was in the internment camp. I was like, listen, I don't want to hear... I was right there with Kira. I don't want to hear your fucking Casablanca story. Just tell me about the fucking Nogitsune. I don't care about you. You're not interesting, okay? You're not Allison's mom. Allison's mom was 10 times more interesting than you are. Get off the screen. But, yeah, I just don't know what was up with that episode, The Fox and the Wolf, and who came up with that. A 900-year-old... Kitsune who wished for a Nogitsune 90 years ago in an internment camp where she was for some reason allowing herself to be locked up in. It was dumb. I'm sorry, it was dumb. But the ending of the episode was epic when they find Styles in Derek's loft. And also the whole chessboard thing, where Derek's name is on the piece of the chessboard, haven't explained that either. There's so many things I need to explain that in this last episode, it's going to be like season 2. And the final episode is going to be like exploding with all of this Deus Ex Machina, let's answer every question in one scene bullcrap. And I really hope they don't do that, because it's driving me nuts, and I hate when shows do that. Because then it's like, you know, you're teasing me all this time, and then when I'm, you know, ready to pop, it's like, oh, well, you have to wait some more. It's like, no, give me some relief. Give me 2 or 3 answers before you suddenly have an explosion of answers. It's driving me insane. Devoid. This was the best episode yet, because we finally got to hear the Nogitsune talk through Styles. Every single time the Nogitsune possesses Styles, he always just gives his evil, sinister style smile. And I love that, I do, but I want to hear him talk. I want to hear him give dialogue, I want to hear him talk to the characters, I want to know what he thinks and how he's processing everything. That's what I want to know. And hearing him talk to them, you know, like, they're a lot more interesting than you Bakemono trying to save the world every day. I was like, yes! Oh, that was epic. And for those of you who don't know, Bakemono is a group of idiots. But it was awesome, and, you know, they tape his mouth shut, and they give him Kanema Venom, and, you know, and they haven't even explained why the Nogitsune and Styles have split apart. There's so many things they have to answer, but whatever. So I did love Devoid, because we got some awesome dialogue. We got Derek and Allison's dad, we got some moments with them. We got some Ethan, which, you know, I always love, because I just love Danny, I'm sorry. Like, if that scene could have been with anyone other than Ethan, as long as it was with Danny, I would have loved it. I'm sorry, I just don't find the twins compelling. I don't find them compelling. I mean, like, I'm not massively interested, I've already said this, I'm not massively interested in the twins. You know, I did love the elements that we got in Devoid, especially evil Nogitsu Styles talking to, especially, like, Scott's mom. But here's the thing. All that build-up for what happened with Scott's dad was ridiculous. I'll get to that when I talk about the next episode. But, like, yeah. You know, all that build-up. He's like, oh, Scott will hate you for telling him the truth, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is going to be really sick. I'm sorry, though so many people were thinking this, and so was I, that Scott was adopted. That this entire time, Scott's been adopted, they aren't his real parents, and his mother has been lying to him his whole life. And the reason why Scott's dad has come back and wants to tell Scott is because recently something has happened with Scott's birth parents, like something horrible, and they think that Scott has the right to know, like, what's going on, finally, at this point in his life, because, like, there's something happening with his real-life parents that, like, involves Scott in some way. Or something. Like, maybe they died and they're leaving Styles something, and maybe they died and they're leaving something to Scott, or maybe, you know, one of them is dying and they want to speak with Scott or something like that. Like, that would be meaningful, and that would have been really impactful and deep. But, like, what we get, the ultimate reveal of what all of this is heading towards, just makes me go, what? I really hope that that's not the whole truth. I really hope that there's some stuff left they haven't told us about Scott's father and why he ultimately left. Because if that's all there is to it, that he fell down the stairs, I'll get to that. So yeah, he's like, Scott would hate you and all that. That was so interesting. He was so evil. And I love how they were all talking about Styles. Like, Deaton, Scott, and Lydia were all talking about Styles. Like, so we have to change his body. And Deaton raises a good point. That's 1, if I translated it correctly. 2, assuming that they literally mean change his body and it's not some type of proverb or metaphor. And 3, you know, the bite could kill him. Even if we are right, and it is change his body, and we do bite him and make him into a werewolf, it could kill him. And even if it doesn't kill him and it turns him, what if he doesn't want to be a werewolf? You know, like, Scott brings that up. He's like, what if he doesn't want it? He's never asked to be a werewolf, ever. He has never asked, like all the alphas that we've had in this show, he's never asked. Even when Peter offered him the bite in season 1, he said he didn't want it. He's never brought up anything like that. He's never brought up any interest. Like, Peter brought up this kind of tease, like, you know, Styles, you're lying to yourself. You know, you say you want to be normal, you want to be human or whatever, but you're lying to yourself. You want to be special. And I think that at his core, Styles kind of does desire that, but he's not going to overtly say it, and ultimately he knows the type of life that he'll have if he ultimately becomes a werewolf. But then again, he already has that life, because he surrounds himself with his friends who are a banshee, a werewolf hunter, and a werewolf. You know, I mean, like their group is so full of supernaturals, and so full of people who are involved in the supernatural, and now, due to the tragic scenario that happened in Insatiable, he is the only pure human. He is the only human character left on the show. He is the only human character left in the Teen Wolf pack. So, what's going to happen next? I mean, like, it's upsetting to me. But whatever. he brings that up. He's like, Styles never asked to be a werewolf, you know? So it's like, all around we're pretty much screwed. So, and they call in Peter, and I just love Peter's, being there, his jabs. We're gonna get in there, and we're gonna get inside Pale and Sickly Evil Styles to get real Pale and Sickly Styles. That was great. I loved it. And Scott using his alpha abilities to, you know, like, get inside their heads and everything. That was interesting. I loved how we went into the hyper-conscious space, I guess you can call it, where the Nematon is, and Styles was playing that game. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of that board game, but that game with the Nogitsune, I thought that was really cool. You know, how it's like in their mind, that's really what's going on. It's kind of just like they're playing a game, you know? And I just love that. And Scott roars to, like, Styles is part of your pack. He's human, but he's part of the pack, right? I was like, he totally is! Like, that's why. That episode, Devoid, was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And, that's why seeing Allison and Kira kick ass together was epic. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have tons of love for Kira. I mean, like, I think she's cute, and I think she's quirky, and I have no problems with her. I like how she's just, like, you know, taking charge. She goes against her mother when her mother tells her to leave. She's like, no, I'm not leaving. You know, you're not gonna hurt him. You know, I like her. I like how she's assertive, how she's like, listen, you know, you've been lying to me for my whole life. You haven't told me the truth about anything, and now you're sticking these demons on this kid. I'm not just gonna stand by and let you do it. I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna try and stop you. And that's her mother. You know, so I like how she's taking charge. I like Kira for that. And it kind of does remind me of Allison, but she is no Allison. I'm sorry. No, Kira, you are not an Allison. There's only one Allison. Well, there was. Oh my god. But yeah, I do like Kira. So, you know, I loved seeing her and Allison kick ass. I thought that was epic. And even how they switch weapons, that was great. Like, I love that whole thing. Devoid was epic. And, like, how, you know, Allison's dad has the opportunity to shoot Derek, and he doesn't do it. And he's like, because I'm not your enemy anymore. We're not enemies anymore. Epicness. I'm really happy with Devoid. The only thing that weirded me out was the ending when he coughed up Styles. And it's like, why is the evil Nogitsune, who's in Styles' body, literally coughing up Styles? It doesn't make sense. So they like duplicated or something? Like, and also, and like, so it's like now there's a good Styles and a bad Styles running around. I mean, like, that was weird. And they haven't explained why that happened, and they're not, and again, all these answers are just gonna come flying at us in the finale, and I don't like when they do that. I would have liked this episode if they did some research in the bestiary or something, and they were like, oh, okay, this is why this happened. This is why right here. I'd be like, oh, okay, good, we got one answer. Something. But, you know, whatever. That ending was insane, and how he just, like, ran off with Lydia and no one noticed. But then Deaton said, you know, we were a little preoccupied with the fact that somebody was materializing out of the floor. So, yeah, I can kind of understand that. Let's talk about Insatiable. The biggest thing in this episode, of course, everyone knows this, is the death of Allison Argent. Oh my fucking god. When that scene happened, am I the only one who felt like I got stabbed? I mean, seriously, I was watching, and she takes out that Oni, like, and then I was like, oh, like, I was like, Allison? Like, again, like, you know, we've all been mentally preparing for this because we knew from the beginning that someone was gonna die. Everyone has their list, and Allison was always on that list. But there's a difference between predicting it and then actually seeing it. And it's just like, it was painful for me. It was so painful. I love Allison. I love her. I have adored her since season 1. She is such a well-developed character. She's had such amazing arcs in this show where she was, you know, confused, and then she went kind of bad, and then she got so kick-ass last season. She's been so kick-ass this season. Amazing, amazing, amazing character, female, Crystal Reed. You are amazing, and I'm going to watch everything. I'm sorry, right now I'm saying it, I'm going to check into every single thing that Crystal Reed does in the future just to support her. I don't care. I don't care if it's a show, I don't care if it's a movie. I will know nothing about it. If I just know that she's involved in it, I'll check it out just to support her, because I think she is amazing. She brought such life to this character. I would not love Allison as much as I do if it wasn't for the fact that she was being played by such a talented actress. I just love her so much. Crystal, Allison, they're amazing. Just like, you know, two halves of the same whole, and I just love them. And seeing her die was painful for me. And, you know, but they gave her an epic death scene, I'll say that. Like, that, 1, it came out of nowhere. 2, it was just like an epic send-off. She takes out an Oni. She essentially gives them all the tools that they're going to need to take out the Oni. Just silver. If it's silver, it can take out an Oni, or at least disable it. But she just, you know, she shot it with her silver arrow, and she disabled it, you know, and then she just gets stabbed out of nowhere. It was a Game of Thrones moment, seriously. where it's like it just comes out of nowhere and you don't see it coming, and you know, it's just an epic death scene, because it was. And I like how she was, you know, like, this is how it should be, in the arms of my first love. It was so tragic and so sad, and I'll admit this, I got so angry afterwards. I was yelling at my television screen. I was like, you sexist bastards! Like, a lot of people, I've read some people talk about how the show is sexist against women. I don't think it is. I just think the show is a lot more male-centric in terms of its characters. It's a lot more male-oriented in terms of the male relationships, the bromances, and stuff like that. It's not really heavily focused on the females and their relationships and stuff, unless it has to do with the guys. Like, but I think that they handled, like, Lydia's friendship with Allison really well. I was right there with Lydia when she was in the tunnel with Styles. She was like, Allison! And she just screamed. She banshee screams Allison's name. And I was just right there with her. I was like, Allison, no! Like, that was horrible. What the hell? Like, I did so much research into, like, what was going on afterwards. And, of course, I found out, like everyone has by now, that Crystal went to Jeff and basically, you know, talked to him about, you know, her wanting to not get off the show right now, but just, you know, she said that she wanted to go move further in her career, stretch out, you know, do other work or whatever, and Jeff has been under, you know, kind of a little bit of pressure because, you know, every single season has to outdo the last one, you know, it has to be more crazy, more amazing, you know, so, you know, you got Crystal telling you that, you know, she's looking to expand her career and kind of move away from Teen Wolf, and then you got people breathing on your neck that you have to make this season more epic, so what are you gonna do? So he ends up writing her out of the show, giving her an epic death scene, and, you know, the big hype, of course, is someone's gonna die, someone's gonna die. But Allison is everyone's favorite epic warrior princess, and I think that everyone is just feeling this death like if it was someone that they actually knew in life, because she's so amazing. We've been there with her from the beginning. We've been through these changes with her. We saw her go from this sweet, you know, kind of naive girl into this, you know, rattled girl after the attacks and not knowing what happened in Season 1, and then in Season 2 becoming this kick-ass, kind of dark, you know, crazed character bitch, you know, kind of like Kate. And then in Season 3, we see her rise from the ashes in a very real cool way, and just start kicking ass, being friends, just, you know, like, that's why. She starts out, she's kind of jarred, just introduced, she's kind of raw in Season 2, she goes into this whole thing dark after her mother dies, and then in Season 3, she gets redeemed, and they bring her back to the good guys, and she's epic, and she's shooting her arrows, and she's being incredible, and now she's just gone. We've been there with her. We've seen her transitions. She's such an important character, and now she's gone. And it's like, I can't even say I can predict the show anymore, because I said before, when her and Scott broke up, I was like, it's so obvious they're gonna get back together. She's dead now, for God's sakes! Like, I can never say that I'll predict where the show is going to go with its characters and with its people anymore. Ever. So, like, what? What? She's gone! Like, I can't... Every time I start thinking about it, I just start... I'll admit I got teary-eyed. I got so teary... Fuck it. I cried a little bit. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I cried a little bit. Like, when she was there, I was like, this can't be happening, this can't be happening. And then, like, when it was done with, my eyes were so watery, and then I just got, like, tears. Like, a couple of tears streamed down. I was like, oh my god, I'm fucking crying. I was like, what is happening here? Like, I just lost it. Guys, this death is something that is just, like, punching me in the gut. I honestly think that Allison's father is going to go full-on Hunter, like, dark again. He's probably going to join up with the Spanish woman and her people. He's probably going to join up with her, and he's probably going to become, you know, kind of like a dark Hunter again. I really think he's going to go dark. I mean, he has nothing left. He has nothing left. His wife is gone. His sister's gone. His daughter is gone. Who does he have left? Gerard? Like, come on. Oh, well, he has Derek and the Teen Wolf crew. That does not make up for family. If you honestly think that they make up for his daughter and his wife, I'm sorry. No, they don't. Because it's like that, they're not his family. He lost his wife, he lost his daughter, he's suffering so much, he's gonna end up going dark. You watch, he's gonna end up going evil. Like, he's probably gonna be kind of an antagonist next season. Watch, it's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen. Of course, he's gonna want revenge, you know, a next episode. He's gonna probably be really gung-ho in terms of going after the Nogitsune and going after the Oni. He's gonna want revenge. I mean, they killed his daughter, so... But once that's done with, he's gonna be left alone. And it's like, I think he's probably gonna leave the show, his character. And like, why would he stay in town? There's no real reason to. He was staying in town for Allison, really. Now that she's gone, why is he gonna stay? So he's probably gonna leave. They're really introducing a lot of new characters, you know, like with Malia and with this new Banshee chick. And, like again, this new Banshee chick that's like an escapee from Eichenhaus. And also, you know, let's not forget that kick-ass, black chick that, you know, was, you know, in the beginning of last season, she took on the Alphas and won. She got brought back this season, and we find out that she's a hired gun. She's no, like, you know, druid in training or anything like people thought that she was, or like a family member. She's a hired gun. She's like an assassin, thief, whatever you pay her to do, whatever you hire her to do, she'll do it. I love that, and I really hope they bring her back. I don't know what they're going to do with Isaac now, because Isaac was really emotionally bonding with Allison. Like, that emotional bondage that was not there in the beginning was really starting to blossom there near the end. And then she just dies right in the middle of it, and it sucks. You know, and I feel like it's so tragic. I mean, like, I know that Scott right now is going to be more determined than ever to save Styles, because it's like, suffering this loss, he can't handle another one. So he's going to be, you know, even more dedicated and even more, you know, amped to just, like, make sure that no one else dies. After losing Allison, no one else. And also, Allison being killed in this season is definitely going to solidify this season in everyone's memory, and it's going to solidify the Nogitsune as, like, one of the most evil villains. Because, like, this show has some awesome villains. It has every single season, every single villain is memorable, but this one is always going to be known for the villain who's responsible for Allison's death. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say, they're really alienating Derek from what's going on with everyone else. I mean, like, they're bringing him in every now and then, but, like, he's not, he hasn't really been, like, mega involved. Like, when they captured Styles, he wasn't there. When in this big fight scene, he wasn't there. Like, I know he was saving the twins, and, like, apparently someone from the twins' past has, like, caught up with them and is trying to kill them, I guess. So, like, I don't know know how they're gonna save the twins. And, you know, I see the scenes for next week, and we hear Derek talking to someone saying, if you want to be redeemed, stay and fight, because Scott always fights for his friends, and he will die for his friends. You want redemption? Stay and fight. Like, I think he's talking to the twins. I think they're going to somehow find a way to save the twins, and the twins are going to be, oh, we have to get the hell out of town because someone found us. And then Derek's going to say, no, don't just leave. You've been talking about redemption. You've been talking about wanting to be a part of the pack. Stay and fight. You know, and I think that that's probably going to be what's going to happen. Then again, they might just get rid of the twins because, I mean, again, you're bringing in all these characters. I mean, like, they're overflowing. Like, what is this, the Vampire Diaries? Where you're just bringing in all these characters? What's happening here? Like, there's a lot of characters we're bringing up. Whatever. You know, so I really don't know how Lydia is going to process this either. Like, who's Lydia going to hang... Like, Allison was Lydia's best friend. Again, they've been with each other through all of this. Allison literally died for Lydia. I mean, like, what? So, I don't know how, like, who's she going to hang out with now? That new Banshee chick? Really? Come on. So, I really am looking forward to the next episode where they catch up with the Nogitsune in school, apparently. And now he has his Kitsune army. And now he has his Oni army, which is like, what the F. But, you know, it just knocks me on my ass, this death. It came out of nowhere. I was like, oh! Like, I felt like I was stabbed. And then, like, when Scott's like, I can't take your pain, she's like, that's because it doesn't hurt. I was like, that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Oh! Like, it was just so jarring. But, yeah. And then, you know, the ultimate reveal of why Scott's dad left was bull. I mean, if that's the only reason why he left, oh, I pushed you down the stairs when you were a kid and your mom told me to leave. That cannot be it. I'm really hoping there's a lot more to it that they're not telling Scott. Because if that's it, then really, is that what all this build-up was for? I'm really hoping that there's something else involved in this whole thing, and that he didn't actually tell Scott the whole truth, that there's actually something else going on. I really hope that that's the reason. Other than that, I mean, if that's the only reason, if literally that's all this build-up was for, then it was a lame build-up. I mean, like, all this build-up, oh, why I'm here, why I'm here, why I'm here. And maybe his dad is dying, I don't know. But they need to tell us that. And, you know, again, it's just like, well, they're going to save all these revelations and all these answers for all these questions for the final episode like they did in Season 2, and I didn't like that. So I can't wait to see what happens. You know, Styles and the Nogitsune are apparently linked, because Styles is getting sick and dying, and the Nogitsune apparently is getting stronger. So is he feeding off of Styles' life force? Is he, like, making himself stronger off of Styles? And why did him and Styles even separate to begin with? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. They're not answering these questions. So, yeah. Alright, so ultimately, Echo House was an awesome episode. Fox and the Wolf was my least favorite. Devoid was epic, and Insatiable will forever be nailed into my memory forever because of that death scene. I cannot get that scene out of my mind. Allison's words, Allison's beautiful face. Crystal Reed, mwah, 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 mwah. I love you. I hope that everything goes well for you in your future. I hope you're a part of some epic films. I hope you're a part of some epic shows if you choose to do some more television shows. You know, it's just... We're all going to miss you. I'm going to miss you definitely a lot more than I've missed Colton. Because Colton's character on the show was not incredibly memorable, but I feel like Colton was a really good guy in life, and he wanted to leave, and now he's on Arrow, so it's like, you know, good for him. You know, he's actually doing some stuff. But you, oh my goodness, you know, like, you were such a memorable character, and such a good, awesome, epic character, and you brought such life to your character. You brought such incredible life to your character, that it makes you leaving the show even more painful for me. It's like Colton, I was upset because it's like I wanted to see more from him. You showed me everything you had, and that is why this hurts so much. It feels like someone's ripping my heart out. I'm gonna miss you, Crystal. I'm gonna miss you so much. I think we all are. We all are. Closing thoughts. Maze Runner trailer. Did y'all see that? Dylan's gonna be in it. Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that at all. I didn't know that at all. I've read The Maze Runner. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. You know, definitely better than Divergent. I'm not a huge Divergent fan. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge Divergent fan. But I really like The Maze Runner. You know, it's kind of like, it comes right after The Hunger Games, I think. But, like, I love The Maze Runner. I think it's a really cool series. I think it's awesome. And then when Dylan was like, oh, Maze Runner trailer, I'm like, Maze Runner trailer? Because I heard that the movie was, you know, being made or whatever, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. But Dylan's gonna be in it, and he's gonna be the main, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my god, I'm definitely gonna see that. I'm gonna see that twice. Once, just be like, holy shit, Dylan in another movie. It's like the Internship. When I was watching the Internship, I was like, holy fuck, Dylan's in this. But yes, yes, yes. And it was a great movie. I'm sorry, the Internship was an epic movie. Bought it, loved it, watch it all the time. And Maze Runner, again, you know, young adult adaptions into film have been shit lately, except for The Hunger Games. So, and we'll see Divergent. We'll see. We'll see if they do well. But, you know, Maze Runner, hopefully they stick to the story and they stick to what the book is and what the book does. And, you know, like, Dylan, the movie's not going to be bad because of Dylan. The movie's going to be bad because the movie is bad. So, I will see it, and I'll sit through the whole thing, because usually if the movie's bad, I wait till the last 10 minutes of the movie, then walk out and get my money back. But I will sit through the whole thing just for Dylan. Even if the movie sucks, even if the movie is really bad, I will sit through the whole thing just for Dylan. I'll do that for him. I will support him in that, because Dylan's an epic, amazing actor. But the trailer, you know, it makes it look good, and it makes it look like something I definitely want to go out and see. So, Maze Runner. Definitely looking forward to it. Definitely going to see it. Good luck in life, good luck in love. Comment, respond. What did you think about the last 4 episodes? Which one was your favorite? Was The Fox and the Wolf your least favorite, like it was with mine? How much did it hurt when Allison died? When you saw Allison's death, you know, give all the love to Crystal. I'm definitely gonna go see The Maze Runner with Dylan. Peace.
Next on Teen Wolf.
Allison's dead. Now it looks like I'm dying too.
Scott's always been about one thing: saving his friends. No! When there's no chance of winning, he keeps fighting. Find another way to stand and fight.
So what's our move?
If this works, it might kill me too.
Styles, no!